"You will never control the company again," Michael Alexander said coldly, pride shining in his eyes. 15 years later, he slumped in the corner of the boardroom holding documents, unable to move. The once glorious CEO under my arrangement had become the laughingstock of the entire company. 15 years ago, we were partners starting a business side by side. Alexander handled sales and external relations, I managed technology and strategy. In that office, we stayed up late planning business, dreaming of a limitless future. But when the crisis came, he betrayed me. During the 2008 financial crisis, I was overseas visiting my sick mother. The board suddenly called an emergency meeting. Alexander used lies to dilute my shares. He claimed I was unstable and signed documents incorrectly. The documents were forged, but no one believed my explanation. My company shares were taken. I became a bystander. Alexander portrayed himself as a genius CEO in the media. Friends drifted away, legal teams overwhelmed me. I was almost completely isolated. I sold my remaining shares, created shell companies and an investment network. Every time the stock market dropped, I quietly bought Sterling Enterprises shares. When he expanded recklessly, my network quietly increased holdings. For 15 years, I was an invisible shareholder hidden in a janitor uniform. Every day cleaning the CEO office, I observed his habits and weaknesses. The floor was spotless, the trash cans hid secret decisions. Alexander prided himself on being smart but was unaware of every detail around him. Complaints from middle management and resource allocation issues were all in my notes. I noticed vulnerabilities in company operations and the risks in his expansion. Every time he boasted about victories, I smiled silently. Global Tech Industries proposed a merger. I found the documents. It was the perfect opportunity for revenge and an unforeseen trap for him. He walked the halls, directing employees, confident in demeanor. In the conference room, he announced the merger would cement his legend. I wiped the desk, observing each executive's reaction. They were completely unaware of my presence. The merger announcement released, stock soared, media praise poured in. Alexander exuded the aura of victory, believing everything was under control. I sat in the corner, quietly calculating shares and control ratios. Everything was in my hands. I waited for the right moment to act. The signing day arrived. I did not clean but wore a tailored gray suit. In the elevator, I adjusted my tie, fixed my appearance, projecting authority. The security guard hesitated, recognizing me, but could not confirm identity. I smiled subtly, the plan already in my mind. Alexander pushed the door open, seeing me seated at the head of the table. His expression froze, a stiff smile hiding shock. "Do we know each other?" He tried to stay calm. I responded calmly, "Alex, we have known each other a long time." I laid out documents showing my control of companies and share networks. Phoenix Holdings, Sunrise Investments, Blue Ocean Capital, all my hidden forces. Alexander's legal team flipped through the papers, faces growing pale. "How can you control 60% of the shares?" His voice trembled. I explained in detail the betrayal 15 years ago, board meeting records and forged documents evidence. Former board members confirmed his scheme. Global tech executives realized I was leading the merger. The conference room went silent, every eye on me. Alexander tried to argue, "I saved the company." "You cannot say that." I asked softly. "Really? Then why was the company in tight loans, needing this merger?" He stammered, breathing fast. "Surrounding lawyers whispered strategy." His face flushed, hands holding documents, powerless to act. I paused the meeting, carefully explained my holdings and revenge plan. Every shell company, legally and tax structured, no one could trace. Alexander looked at me, hands trembling, unable to control the situation. He realized everything he controlled was collapsing. Board members voted against the merger. Alexander forced to step down as CEO. Global executives recognized Michael as the true controller. His loyal subordinates quickly distanced themselves, urgently finding excuses to leave. Alexander helpless in the center of the conference room, despair on his face. I announced myself interim CEO, immediately deploying management changes. Loyal employees promoted, frontline positions improved. Previously ignored middle managers regained opportunity, office order restored. Alexander forced to leave, grabbed office supplies, angry and powerless. I returned to janitor uniform, patrolled night shift employees. They recognized me, could only show surprise and respect. You really became CEO? Jose asked. I nodded yes, also for your efforts. I still cleaned my own office every day, not for Alexander but for myself. Desk organized, floor clean, a respect for order and work. Alexander demoted, middle management reputation ruined, former prestige gone. I controlled the company from bottom to top, every step steady and deliberate. Media reported Alexander's scandal, employees regained stability. Shareholders and investors trusted governance and direction again. I publicly emphasized employee contribution as core company value. At board meetings, I patiently explained reform details, everyone listened carefully. Alexander's former colleagues saw me firmly in the CEO seat, expressions complex. He tried to explain past mistakes, no one listened. I announced increased employee benefits, restructured management, strictly supervised finances. Company gradually regained vitality, market confidence returned. Global tech merger renegotiated under my control, terms more favorable. Alexander could not stop it. I sat at the head, directing everything. He tried to question my actions, but legal and shared documents suppressed his voice. His face pale, fingers weak on the table, anger and fear intertwined. I revealed one by one the board betrayals from that year. Alexander thought no one knew truth, now fully exposed. Conference room silent, air full of his powerlessness. Every executive realized his control was over. I signed new management plan ensuring company stability. Alexander stood aside holding documents, powerless. He whispered, begging to keep some position, but no one responded. I calmly said, your era is over, Alex. Employees and shareholders refocused on company growth, no longer ruled by fear. Alexander forced to leave headquarters, becoming a joke in the industry. I returned to my office, organized desk, maintaining cleanliness and order. Every decision backed by data, every employee effort valued. Global tech reached final agreement, company shares and operations fully in my hands. Alexander powerless, only accepting demotion and cold stares from the market. I restored company order, ensuring every employee dignity. Janitor habits remained, symbolizing my grassroots understanding of company experience and power. 15 years of patience and observation brought this victory. I stood by the office window, watching company gradually regain order. Alexander's fear and trembling, the final reward of my years of planning. Every piece of power, every system now operated under my control. I controlled Sterling Enterprises, rebuilt company order and employee trust. Alexander lost everything, former glory a laughingstock. I kept janitor habits, reminding myself of the original purpose. Under my leadership, the company grew steadily, every step precise and powerful.